this on already? Actually? Okay. All right. Why so many people here? Um, I bet PD I wouldn't cry 20 bucks. So, all right. Hi everyone. My name is Jen, and I have been serving Ishmael House Church for like 2.5 years now. And I don't know. I feel like it still hasn't really hit me yet, but I guess hopefully this testimony will help me realize and I guess come to like closure for it or whatever. But I was first interested in starting a college ministry because of the growing amount of college students that we had at the time. And so I was in China House Church under Jason, and we had maybe 4 college students. And I felt like during adult problems, we were just sitting there, not really knowing what to say. And people would give their input, and then they would be like, "Hey Jen," or "Hey Elliot, what do you think?" And I don't know. And so I felt like it could be beneficial to have a college house church. And of course, there are pros and cons to it. There's less nurturing, or the cons would be you get less nurturing from older people. There's less cash flow. There's increased responsibility. And obviously, pros are you can relate more in the same life stage. There are, I guess, benefits to more responsibility too. And so I was thinking about this for a while, and PD also had a similar vision, and during retreat, he asked me to step up and lead a college house church. And I still remember that day because I didn't really want to, but I knew there was a need. And when I was talking to PD about it, I expressed my concerns, and he was just like, "It doesn't really matter, you should just do it." And so he kind of shut me down and just pushed me to answer God's calling, which I did. And when I first started, I was joined by Jilly to co-lead the house church, and this was kind of a big transition for church, with her stepping down from Yalu and also joining me to lead this ministry. And so this period of time was pretty hard to go through, and I want to really thank her a lot for being a good coach-up for me to rely on and lead with. I don't think that I would have been, and I don't think this house church would be where it is today without her, and so I do want to mention her and appreciate her. During this first semester, it was really difficult differentiating my relationships with my friends as their new shepherd, and this kind of kept being a struggle throughout my time. I'm sure as other shepherds know, when you're leading people that are the same age as you, and all of a sudden you're asking them to do a testimony, they probably who is this guy telling me to do a testimony? So I got rejected 3-4 times, and while they do regret it sometimes, that makes me feel good. So this first semester and I guess progressing my first year, it was really a lot of growing pains and my immaturity showing in many areas of my life. After Julie stepped down, I began my solo journey, and this was really hard for me, but also really fun and one of the best times of my life. So shepherding taught me a lot about myself because it impacted all aspects of my life as a shepherd, right? You're not just a shepherd just in house church, but you become thinking more like a shepherd in your classes, in school, with your family, things like that. And so I learned how to obey commands that I did not want to obey. I learned how to serve others, how to cook, how to control my emotions, and how to see God work in everything. It pushed me out of my comfort zone and showed me I can do so much more than what Satan tells me. I mean, when I first started, Satan, and you kind of put a lot of lies on yourself, saying that you can't do this, or you're not good at that, so you're not going to do it. But because you have this pressure from Pastor Daniel, you just kind of do it. And so it's hard, but it's hard to see how much God can work in one semester. But looking at the past 2.5 years, I can really see how everyone in our house church has grown, and not only in their faith, but as a person. And I mean, we had quite a few baptisms and VIPs join and new people join. But as successful as this house church was on paper, I mean, these achievements were not easy. As a shepherd, there are many times I was hurt by my sheep and discouraged in shepherding, and I struggled with seeking perfection instead of seeking God. I learned how God does not expect us to be perfect in our work, but He just wants us to give everything to Him. And just like everyone on earth, shepherds are horribly imperfect people, and it is kind of disappointing to say that I was very imperfect as well, and still am. I'm not saying that like shepherds are supposed to be perfect, but I feel like when I look back, I wish that I could have done more. And there are times when I was at the grocery store and I was looking at like the premium meat, and then there's like the budget meat, and I'm like, it's like $10. That's like a bowl of Chipotle. And there are times when I just took the budget meat and I saved the Chipotle bowls. But yeah, things like that is like how shepherding impacts your life, and you can see in your heart how selfish you can be and how imperfect you are. And so looking back, I struggled with like many sins, such as like different addictions, gambling, lust, judgment, anger, pride, and much more. I could go into much more detail, but my main point is that God used me, a person full of sin, to lead His people. And while it may seem that like shepherds are very like good people, and it may seem that shepherds are doing really well in their faith, that is very not the case. I think this testimony isn't really to highlight how great like my house church grew, but it's just kind of like how great like God is to me. And it is to the point that even after stepping down and struggling with the same sins, like it's very obvious that I'm still imperfect and unclean, no matter how many like good works are committed. Our life is not based on the works that we do, but on our relationship with God, which is why I still need Him every day. It feels weird that my college shepherding is over, and it feels like I often didn't do enough. Many times I was not compassionate, I wasn't kind, I was lazy, I was stingy with my money, and I harbored ill feelings toward my members. I apologize to my sheep. I don't know I think only Hannah's here, but I'm you're not doing children's ministry? Anyway, I'm sorry that I couldn't be a better leader and mentor for y'all to follow. And yeah, many times I look back at the way that I treated some of my sheep when I had like disagreements with them or they wouldn't listen to me. And it was very hard for me to treat them as Jesus would treat me. And so I hope that this would be a reminder that God uses the lowly to serve and that He needs no qualifications for us to be raised by Him. I hope this also serves as a reality check that we don't deserve anything in life except for hell, and that this opportunity for me to serve as a shepherd was very humbling, and it's a big privilege for me. And it also serves as a reminder to myself that God is the one who uses us for our good, not for His, or not that He needs us. I think this just shows that God loves us so much to send His Son for us. And without Jesus in my life, I don't think I would be the person I am today. And like, if I were to think back when I was a sophomore and Pete didn't ask me to step up, I would still probably just be chilling with Jason, eating his food, and just like being served a lot. And I don't think I would have learned all these things, and my relationship with God would not be here to like as strong as it is today. I'm also very thankful for PD for guiding me and comforting me during these dark times, or like my darkest times. And I hope this can be a motivating testimony for our church and continue, like that will be obedient to God's calling and also what PD tells us to do. I'm also thankful for other shepherds in my village who have listened to me and fed me really good food, and all the shepherds that I've had, like Danny and Jason and Holly, and I really appreciate you guys. And I actually had dinner with Jason on NPD, not like together, but I had dinner with Jason on Thursday, and then he like took me out for dinner during my shepherds like a few times, and we would go to nice places to eat. And this past week we went to eat like Korean barbecue, and now that I'm working, I see how much money, how hard it is to make money. And so I was like, Jason, like, how did you like spend all this money for me? Like, I'm very thankful. And he told me like it was the last time. And so I don't think I can ask him again, but yeah, I'm really thankful for that, and also for PD, and just for all the guidance he's done for me. I sometimes think, or I do think he is my second father, and I've told him things that I don't even tell my own father, so that's a pretty good resource to have. And I'll finish with a passage from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of man and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith, so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. And so when I read this, I really wish that I embodied love more to this point where it does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. And I see that my love for my sheep is not nearly as deep as it should be. And so hopefully as I step into a new chapter of my life and become a sheep again under Steph's house church, I hope that I can be an example and also support her and be a resource for her to step up whenever she needs to. And yeah, last thing for Shepherds, guys, the Shepherd's Journal was really good for me because I was able to tell him everything, and he really helped me a lot. So he didn't tell me to say this, but you should do your Shepherd's Journal. And G1 isn't here. G1 needs to do it too. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you.